This is beautiful. I know it is. Look, the reason why we talked about those before we started even doing this, the reason why we talked about the class boundaries and stuff, just to remind you, is because you can see that you're going to need to do that. Okay, so there are things that we will need to be able to do, which is number one, to be able to find this cumulative frequency up to the class before the median. You need to understand how to find the median class and whatever. But first of all, just know this formula by heart. Okay, use of this is not even hard. Use of this is not even hard. We'll see when we apply that, because we'll be coming back to this chart and it's going to be very important for us. So here we have our ungrouped data, then we have group data. So that is the median. And here we are going to the mode now. So for mode, when you have ungrouped data, which is things that, remember, ungrouped data is just things that are listed like 14, 15, 21, 18. Okay, when grouped, you'll be having the class interval, and then you'll be having the frequency. Okay, so that is now grouped when it's in a table like that. All right. Now, mode for ungrouped data, which is things listed like that. Ungrouped, they are individually listed. These things, when you want to find the mode, you should know that there is no formula for this one. Now, you just look for the number which is appearing the most. So sometimes you may have no mode. For example, if you have terms like, these are the ages of 5 people, 7, 9, 6, 3, and 1. These are the ages of 5 people in a family. Then they ask you, what is the mode? The mode here will be nothing. If everything is appearing the same number of times, then there is no mode. If everything is appearing just once, like here, there is no mode. You may have 2 modes, you may have 1 mode. Let's say they are now 6 and you have 2 1-year-olds that are twins. Now, what is the mode? The mode is 1, the digit which is appearing the most. You may have now 2 7-year-olds and 2 1-year-olds. What is the mode? The mode here would be, for this, the mode will be equal to 1 and 7. Okay, so you can have 2 modes, you can have even 3 modes if you have 3 things that are appearing more than once like that, and they're all having the same frequency. So mode, there is, you can have no mode. For here there is no mode, or you can have unimodal, something which is unimodal, or you can have something which is what do you call it? We would say unimodal is for 1. Then we can have bimodal for 2, and what is the other one I want to say? Or polymodal, where you have many modes, even more than 2. Okay, but there is no calculation for this for ungrouped. Now, what about for group data? Well, mode has a calculation, and mode will be now equal to. So for mode, you don't have. You see, for here, you're going to need to have cumulative frequency. If you want to find median of grouped data, you need to have a cumulative frequency column. For when we do group data, for mean, it's fine. For mean, we have to be able to do this one. Yeah, mid value, this W class mark. Okay, don't call it mid value now. Start calling it class mark. But you know, whenever I say class mark, it just means the mid value. So you should be able to do this table. Yeah, WIFI. That is an important table for mean, for median, and for which you're going to see just now. For the quartiles, you are going to need to have cumulative frequency, and you're going to need to have your class boundaries. But for mode, you don't. For mode, yes, you're going to need to have the class boundaries, but you don't need to have the cumulative frequency. Because for mode, we can easily tell some things, which is things like, which is the modal class. If you want to know the modal class, you just look for the class with the highest frequency. That's the modal class. But for mode, when you are dealing with grouped things, you should be able to find the modal class. So for median, we need to find the median class, which we can't when it's grouped unless we know cumulative frequency. So we'll talk about, but remember this formula by heart. The lower class plus this big fraction times class width at the end. And in the fraction, it's n over 2 minus cumulative frequency of the class before the mean, before the median, divided by the frequency of the median, which is very much the same as the one you're going to see in the quartiles. For mode, this is going to be lower class boundary again of model, which is just like this one. But, and you say plus, and you put your big fraction again, and you multiply by class width at the end. So a lot of the things are actually the same. So let me put it nicely. Let me write it nicely to say mode is going to be the lower class boundary of the model class, plus we put our big fraction here. We multiply by cumulative, by class width at the end. Yes, that's the same. This is the same for this part. That this plus and the class width multiplying, but the inside is what changes. For mode, you'll be saying, over here, it will be frequency of the model class minus frequency of the class before the model, plus you now put frequency of the model minus frequency of the class after the model. So this is what happens. And this is what goes in your fraction. Okay? This is what goes in your fraction like this. And on the top is just going to be this first thing, which is the frequency of the model minus the frequency of the class before the model. Okay? This is what you're going to have. And remember that you are going to multiply by class width. So we know that at the end here, you're going to say times class width. Okay? It's going to be times class width. That is what you do here. And this is going to be here. That's what it is. So this is going to be it, and you have the mode for group data. Oh, this is beautiful, right? Now let's just put the quartiles and the deciles and the percentiles without wasting time. This should not take us any long. So quartiles now, for ungrouped data, quartile you have is something that divides, we say divides work into 4, but you'll be having 3 positions. Like it's like this, right? This is going to be quartile 1, this is going to be quartile 2, this is going to be quartile 3. Okay, so we'll be having this from 0 up to quartile 1 is going to be the first, quartile 1 to quartile 2 the second, quartile 2 to quartile 3 the third, quartile 3 to the end is going to be the fourth. So we only have 3 quartiles to know, and they will divide our data into 4 parts. Now the quartiles, you should know that quartile 1 is the lower quartile or the first quartile, and how you get it is if you know how to do median very well. This median, so important, because all you'll be doing now is quartile 1 is just going to be median of lower values, which are all the values that are below, the ones you use to find the median. So you should find the median first. So let's say I have 17, 18, 21, 18, and 20 and 21. So let's say we have this number of terms. Then we want to find the lower quartile. So what you should be able to find first is the median. And for you to find median, you should have arranged, let me put this before I forget. For median, you have to arrange terms. Okay? For you to be able to find the median here, you have to arrange terms. That's the same thing for quartiles. The terms have to be arranged. So arrange terms in the order, okay, of size. You have to arrange them. So these terms need to be arranged in order. So once you have done that, you should get the median of the lower values. You should get the median itself first. So this should be arranged 17, 18, 18, 20, 21, and 21. Now we would get median, and median here will be the middle value. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's make them 5. If we make them 5, then the median is going to be this guy, right? So he's not, median is going to be this guy. And now what you'll be doing is to find quartile 1, you come and get median of these 2, which we see that they are even. So we'll be working with that formula, which you said you average them, blah, blah, blah. So it's like, that's the same thing, even if they were like 4 and 16 and 17, that's the same, 22 and 23. Here you'd say, you'd now come and get the median of these and the median of these without including the value. The value you use to find median itself should never be used in lower quartile or upper quartile. You ignore them. Then you look at the values after. So let's say that you had it like this, and then you had a 24. Let's say that there were even number of terms like this. Now the median is going to need us to find average of these 2 values. Okay. Now when we find average of these 2 values, what you must know is when we are now finding lower quartile, we don't include these 2 values. We look here. This is how we're going to find our quartile. We'll find the median now of this. Then we can find the median now of this, and it will be the upper quartile, which is going to be Q3. Okay. Then the Q2 is the median itself. Okay. So Q2 is going to be the median itself. Okay. And then Q3 is going to be equal to median of upper values. Right. Now we have the quartiles. Now we must be able to then find the quartile here using the for frequency for grouped data. How do we find the quartile? So what we'll do is we'll come here and say, okay, for us to find the quartiles, it'll be whatever quartile you want. So we'll say quartile of J. Okay, that's what we say. Whatever quartile you want. This is just going to be equal to lower class boundary. So whatever quartile you want. Maybe it's first quartile. J is representing the quartile. Okay, so J will be equal to 1, 2, or 3. Okay, 1, 2, or 3. 1, 2, or 3. This is going to be J. Now, so we'll be saying QJ, it's like, is it the Q1, is it Q2, is it Q? This is going to be the lower class boundary of the class with that thing. So you need to know what is the class that has this quartile. Then you say, we'll show you how to get it. Then it's going to be divided by this fraction we're going to have, plus this big fraction. Then at the end, we are obviously going to multiply class width. So in the fraction, we still do the same. Now, what we do now is we say J times N all over 4 minus cumulative frequency. For median, it was N over 2 minus cumulative frequency. For here, it is J, N over 4 minus cumulative frequency of the class before J. So it's J minus 1, okay? Cumulative frequency of QJ minus 1. Then it is going to be divided by frequency of the class with the quartile. So this is going to be what you do. And just write it down. Be good at it. Lower class boundary outside plus that big fraction, then multiply class width at the end. So class width is a very important thing. Now, the last thing which I'm going to do for you. We are done. Remember, we needed to do 6. So this is 4. For 5 and 6, they're only there for ungrouped data. And it's just one formula each. So we'll talk about them more in depth. This is going to be the deciles. And for you to find whatever decile, the decile will say dk, and where we have k being equal to 1 to 9. It can be the first decile, the second, or up to the 9th. This is just going to be equal to k multiplying n plus 1 all over 10. This gives us the decile, k multiplying n plus 1 over 10. Then number 6, we have the percentile. This is just going to be our percentile, we say pj. This is going to be j, which is j is 1 to 99, okay? 99th percentile will be saying whatever n plus 1 divided by 100, whatever it is. And n is the number of terms. So n will be your number of terms. So j will be equal to 1 all the way up to 99. This is what happens. And we would be done with the measures of central tendency. Woo! What work we have done. I know there's still some questions you may have, like what is the class with the quartile, whatever, which we talked about in this formula. What is that? We'll find out how to do them when we apply. But what I want you to be able to do is just be very good and know the formulas and whatever. So this is going to be it. Let me try to zoom out so that you see the whole thing which we have done. This is going to be it. And this is going to be what we have done so far. These are the 6, which is mean, median, mode, quartiles, deciles, and the percentiles. These are all. And you must be able to do them. I'm sure it is good. Goodbye for now. We'll meet in the next one where we talk about the measures of dispersion, which are not hard at all. Okay? They're going to be 7, but you're going to see that only 2 of them are going to be interlinking. They're so easy. They're going to have different formulas for grouped and ungrouped, but the others just have the same formula for grouped and ungrouped. Well, goodbye for now. See you in the next video. We'll meet in the next video where we talk about that.